Welcome to the Adventure Gran Canaria podcast, a show that explores the journey of expats who start a new life in Spain and Gran Canaria. I'm your host, Sven van Scheidemann, and today's guest is Kayla Crane. Kayla works for an NGO in Gran Canaria, and we will talk about living on a volcanic island, Gran Canaria's nice cultural mix, and the challenge of breaking into local social groups. This episode is brought to you by AdventureGranCanaria.com, the go-to resource for expats, digital nomads, active travelers, and nature lovers. If you're planning to move to Gran Canaria, sign up for the mini course where I tell you how to quadruple your chance of finding a job, how to overcome homesickness by finding new peeps, and how to be confident in speaking Spanish in no time. Plus, I show you step by step how to get your first important paperwork done. Now, over to Kayla. Good evening, Kayla. Nice for having you here.
Nice to be here.
So, Kayla, tell us a bit about you. What's your home country and why did you move to Gran Canaria?
Well, I'm originally from the U.S. I'm from the area of Indiana. It's kind of the border between Indiana and Kentucky. Very rural, traditional area of the U.S. And I ended up in Gran Canaria because I was originally living in Menorca. And I was teaching English, and I kind of wanted to leave that to the side, so I decided I wanted to look outside of the area to find a job, and I found a job here, and I ended up here.
How long have you been here in Gran Canaria now?
It was a year last September.
All right.
So like a year and a half, kind of.
All right. So before you lived in Menorca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not Mallorca.
What are the differences between Gran Canaria and Menorca, or what place did you like more, or do you like more?
It's hard to say because there are things that I like about both, and there are things that I maybe don't enjoy so much about either one of them. The things that maybe are similar is that they're both islands, so I think living in an area where it's kind of closed off like that kind of shapes the way people live, and also they're islands, so you always have the sea around, and so that shapes the way that people live as well. So I definitely like living near the ocean. I like having the sea around me. I like what it does to the way people live, because I think it kind of slows people down, and it's something for me that's always been very very strange, because I'm from the middle of my country where there's no big body of water really.
Yeah.
It's just rivers, and we don't really have the same relationship with the water that we do have around. So, so that's really interesting. As far as big differences between the two places, I'd say that in Menorca it's much smaller, more traditional. You don't have a big city. Here it's a big city, but it's not. For me, it's not too big. I've lived in Madrid before. I've lived in a big city type of environment, and it's not really for me.
So you've seen quite a lot of Spain, huh? Right?
Yeah, actually, the first time I was in Spain, I was studying, and I really thought, I'm never going to get another chance to be in Spain, to be in Europe maybe, so I had to take advantage of it, and I did as much traveling as I could. So I saw everything but Galicia, I think I've seen so far. So.
Have you been here in Gran Canaria as a tourist before, or you just went here because you found a job?
Actually, a few months before I got the job, I came to visit my friend for the first time. She'd been here for about a year. We met in Menorca. She's from Canada. So I came here to visit her. And then literally, I wasn't looking for work here. I was kind of looking for work in Barcelona or somewhere close to Menorca, so I'd be close to my friends. And one day I just looked for all of Spain, and this offer came up here. So I thought, I already know people. I liked it when I was there, so,
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was a nice opportunity.
Yeah, it definitely was. It's been a good year and a half.
Yeah. So, as you're not an European citizen, I imagine you had to do a couple more, or you had a bit more of paperwork to do, right? to live in Spain or in the Canary Islands.
Yeah, definitely. When I first went to Menorca, I was basically a student. I was doing a program through the Ministry of Culture and Education in Spain. And it's a program where they match up native speakers with schools where they teach English to help out the teachers there, and to give the students kind of a taste of the culture and like what a real person who who speaks English natively is like. So every year I had to renew my student visa. That was a pain. It's very complicated. Sometimes they give it to you for a year. Sometimes they give it to you for just the term of the.
How come the times are different? I mean,
I really don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Let's say Spain is different.
Yeah.
It always depends who's sitting in front of you.
It depends a lot, yes. Yeah, I think so. Whoever got your paper and can put the stamp on it. So.
Yes.
Then after that, I actually I got married. So I'm actually married, and that's how I ended up getting my paperwork to get like a real job and everything.
Yeah. Cool.
And that was a relief because that means I didn't have to do it every year and go through the extranjeria and do all that stuff, because that, for me, that's the worst of Spain.
Yeah, that costs a lot of time. You know? Every year again, sitting there and waiting. Yeah. So I imagine you do remember when you landed here the first time in Gran Canaria. So how did it feel? What was your feeling?
Before landing, actually, I remember seeing the peak of Teide, and it was a really strange sight because there were clouds everywhere, and I could only see the top of the mountain.
Yeah, but the Teide is on the wrong island.
I know, but it was. I saw it on the way here, and I thought, wow, that's crazy. I've never been on an island that was like volcanic, I guess, and so I was really excited. And when I landed here, for me, it was very different because Menorca is very white. The stone tends to be quite white, especially around the airport. And so you have the white of the stone, you have the green of the pines and the other trees. And here, it's volcanic, so it's dark, and it was just a different view. But I was really excited. I really felt like this was going to be a whole new era for me. So.
Yeah. This is always for me also a nice view when I'm coming back with the airplane and I'm seeing Gran Canaria, the Teide in the background, with a bit of luck with sunset is always a wonderful picture.
Yeah.
So, what is the very first thing you did after arriving, after leaving your stuff in your apartment or whatever you had at that time?
That's a little harder to remember. I think that first day, I probably met up with my friend. I was staying at her place while I was looking for an apartment. I probably met with her and we went and, I don't know, had a beer or something. I remember that first weekend I went to the birthday party of a friend of hers. So it was a little strange. I was around all these people I didn't know, celebrating the birthday of someone that I only sort of knew.
But did you went to the beach after the first time, or just having a beer?
Weekend, I arrived on like a Friday, and that weekend I definitely went to the beach. So yeah, of course.
Of course, you have to go to the beach when you're arriving here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're living in the north part of the island, in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. So you lived also in Spain in a lot of different cities and islands. So what do you think about the quality of living in Gran Canaria's capital?
It's really nice. I mean, this is a place where you can live very calmly, very easily, and I think it's just easy to live here. Like, the weather's nice, so if you have to be out, whether you're going to do an errand or you're going out to the beach or whatever, it's never so bad that it's a hassle to go out of your house. Which for me, that's a huge thing, because like in Indiana, the weather is awful in the winter. You have snow and sometimes rain, and then you have everything from tornadoes to blizzards. Sometimes.
Yeah.
So I like the stability of the weather. Although sometimes it's not very sunny, I can say that. But I think the people are laid back. It's a nice cultural mix, I think, as well. You have a beach next door. You have mountains to go explore. You have any kind of sport you want to do. So I think it's great.
Yeah, you just said something very, very important. Everywhere in the world, people are killing each other because of religion, because of nationalities, and all those stuff. But here, you really can be in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria with people from different nationalities, religions. They're all sitting together at the beach, and nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially apparent in my area because I live near the port and near Las Canteras Beach, and this is really touristy, and so you have the mix of all the tourists coming off the cruise ships, and you have just this area in general. There's so many different groups, and I love it. I think it's amazing to walk out the street and see so many different people.
So how does it feel to be a foreigner in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria? If we're already in this topic.
I mean, I don't feel like I notice it too much. I mean, I think it's easy. I mean, I don't have any trouble when I go and do my things. The only thing that's maybe a little kind of obnoxious sometimes is when, I've been in Spain for 6 years and I speak Spanish and I like to speak Spanish. And so someone that, they're used to seeing foreigners and so they just automatically, in English they talk to you and I'm a little like, but I've just learned over time that, if I want to speak Spanish, I just continue with Spanish. So it's not a problem or anything. The only thing I would say about being a foreigner is that it can be hard to break into the social groups that have been here. You meet people that they're friends from when they were 5 years old. So it's hard to get into that and to be remembered as a possibility as someone that they could hang out with and include in their group.
Yes.
So, but every time.
But I think I wrote on the page about it a couple of times. This might, it's not that easy to connect to the local folks, like finding real friends, because even though they know you're living here, they know that a lot of expats they're not making it. They're staying here maybe half a year, and most of them have to leave again.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so, I think that's the back of their mind. But I think it's more than that. It's just the fact that, on Saturdays they meet up with this group of people and it's always the same. And so when it comes to the time to make plans, they don't think about including other people. But I have noticed if it's someone that's lived, in another country or in another city too, they know what it's like to be on the outside. And so they're usually a little more, they make it a point to include you and to make you feel a part of their circle of friends. They're more open to including you, to meeting new people in general, I think.
Is there one thing you really hate about Gran Canaria besides the paperwork, for example?
Actually, the paperwork here was easier than in Madrid, so I can't complain too much about that. One thing maybe is the fact that it's kind of far away from the mainland. Like for me to go home, it's at least three flights. So it would be nice if I were close.
This is how long do you need? 12 hours, 14 hours?
No, like 17 usually.
17?
Yeah, with all the stops and everything. So plus my parents live about 45 minutes from the airport, so then we have to get in the car and drive. So for me, I often think about whether I should move to Barcelona.
That's a pretty tough journey.
Yeah, but beyond that, I mean, I don't do that every day, obviously, so it's not that big of a deal. Other than that, there isn't much work here, so that's kind of...
It's hard here, yes. Yeah, even more for foreigners.
Yeah, and the variety of work. The offers you see tend to be the same thing over and over, so...
Bars, restaurants are mostly the offers.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's my core podcast, I can say, for a shitty salary.
The salaries aren't so great either, but you weigh the things that you have, the pluses and the minuses, and I think for me the quality of life, the what you have at hand that you can take advantage of, those kinds of things weigh more than a salary. Yeah. As long as I can make enough to buy a ticket home once in a while, then I'm good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we talked already about meeting people and local friends, but what I would like to know is I can imagine that the US American community in Gran Canaria is not that big.
No.
So,
not at all. I mean, if they're here, I don't know where they are. I only know.
And because of that, I think there are not many stores or supermarkets with typical American food. So Is there one thing you're really missing from your home country besides friends and family?
People always ask me that about food, and the only thing I can say is, and then it's a little better here. I miss in the U.S., especially in my area, we had a wide variety of foreign foods as far as restaurants. Like we had really good Mexican restaurants, we have Japanese restaurants, everything, and it was pretty easy to find. So I do kind of miss good Mexican food, but I make things at home.
You should go back to Madrid. Did you listen to the latest podcast with Daniel?
Yeah, and actually, I lived in Madrid. We searched out a few places, but we never found anything that was really that great. So I would be interested in trying that if I ever go back to Madrid.
So there's nothing here on the whole island which is similar to that.
Actually, I went to one place, and it was up near La Ballena, I think, and it was decent. We went there for our Christmas dinner last year, or year before last, at work. So it was actually pretty darn good. It was the best I've had in Spain. So
the best in Spain. Do you remember the name?
There's something about Rio, or I'll have to tell you later. I don't remember.
Okay.
I'll ask
I will put a link below the video later. Yeah, so people can give it a try. Yeah. So you already knew Spanish, the Spanish language. What do you think? How important is it for foreigners when they're coming to Gran Canaria or Spain in general? How important is it to learn the Spanish language?
I think it really depends on your priorities. I mean, I honestly don't have that many Spanish friends right now. I think it takes time to get to know them and to get in, like I said before, to get into their circles. But I think you just miss so much if you don't know Spanish. And I personally would feel awful not being able to understand. For example, when you do paperwork would be just impossible because it's not clear in Spanish. So, if you don't know Spanish, then you're just lost. So I think it's really important. I think there's a lot that you get about the culture and about the people when you know the language. So I think, people open up to you a lot more when you can speak a few words of their language. So Spanish people are pretty open and pretty nice anyway, but if you really can communicate with them, it opens a completely different door. So I think it's super important.
How did you find connections here? Other people from foreign countries or locals? What did you do?
To meet people, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I've done a lot of things. Usually when I go to a new place, I know that you just have to get out there and do a variety of activities with a variety of people. So the internet's a great resource for that. Facebook is great. You can search for groups, if you'd like to do sports or this or that. And just talking to people, like talking to my coworkers about like things that they do. And I mean, as you know, like sites like Internations and things like that for expats or
we can talk about this. We met, I think, around a year ago. I think so. Yeah. Around a year ago, through the platform internations.org. I can explain it later below the video. So it's a global community that connects foreign people wherever they are living.
Yeah, and so sites like that, sites like Couchsurfing, because I think Couchsurfing, people think of it as like you go and you stay with someone, but it has a whole different side of like mingling with locals and getting to know the area with the help of locals. So using the internet really is just everything. You can find it all. So as long as
we're such a glad generation that we have internet nowadays.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're doing right now. So it's amazing.
Yeah, right. Even though we're, I don't know, 5 minutes, you're living 5 minutes from here.
Yeah.
Santa Catalina, huh?
Yeah. I sometimes Skype with friends here, just because we're like, I'm tired of WhatsApping, so let's Skype.
Of course, yeah. So, Kayla, is there one advice you like to offer to new people who are coming to Gran Canaria?
To here specifically, I don't know, but in general, like if you're going to live in a new place, I think the first few months are the hardest. You're going to feel maybe like, why did I move here? I don't know anybody. I'm not doing anything. You start to doubt yourself. But if you can get over those first few months, like just get out there and do as much as you can. If someone says, hey, do you want to do this? Do it. You never know who you're going to meet or what you're going to do and if you're going to like it. So just be active, really active.
And live today. Just do it. Go out and enjoy life.
Exactly. And talk to people.
And talk to people, yeah. And I think this is even important if you don't speak Spanish perfect.
Yeah, no, totally.
I remember when I came to Gran Canaria a decade ago, I knew cerveza y café con leche.
Yeah.
And that's it, but poco a poco, I learned the language. But what I realized at that time, that people, even though you don't speak the language perfectly, they help you and they're going to talk to you, and they even help you with vocabulary and all those
stuff. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. They love to help.
Yeah, very lovely people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kayla. Now my bonus question. I'm asking to all the people I'm interviewing. What is your favorite book and why?
I hate these questions, so I'm glad that you have given me, because I have a really bad memory. So people ask me, what's your favorite song? And I'm like, that one. So I prepared. I made a list and everything. Favorite book, I'm not sure that I have, but I have some favorite authors that I can give you. One of them is Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote a couple of books like Outliers, Blink, The Tipping Point. It's kind of... For example, Outliers talks about successful people and the similarities in their stories and like what makes them
successful.
Yeah, exactly. And then Blink was really interesting too because it was about kind of your instincts. What's going on when you're doing something without thinking? Like what's going on in that split second when you make the decision to act when it's not actually an active decision of your own. And then The Tipping Point was about trends and what makes things go viral and everything like that. So those are really, really interesting. And then another author would be Kurt Vonnegut, who's actually from Indiana as well. He writes a lot of like funny stories. Actually, he's dead, so he wrote a lot of funny stories. And another author would be Christopher Moore. He also wrote kind of funny, ridiculous stories. So.
Okay. You have to send me the names later so I can search them. I like the book about the success. I might.
I recommend any of his books. They're really good.
I might buy it for myself. Yeah. Well, Kayla, we're done basically. Do you want to add something? Do you want to greet someone, your family, your mother in the United States? Hi, Mom.
I'm sending this link to everyone I know because I will feel famous. You know, my 15 seconds.
I'm in the television. Well, almost.
I think it's really cool that you're doing these podcasts, and I'm honored that you made me a part of them. So thank you.
I was very happy that you said yes. It was a pretty cool interview. So many thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Talk to you soon. We have the next meeting the 29th of January.
Yes, I haven't been in a while, but I will be there.
Okay, thank you, Kayla. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.